Hi there, my name is Tom Chick. You probably know that if you're watching this. It's a rainy day, pretty suitable. I should warn you up front, this is gonna be long and probably sullen and mopey, and you might not find this to be any fun. I am going to drive from Maine, which is where I've situated my car, way up here in the upper right-hand corner, to Los Angeles. Down here in the lower left-hand corner. I'm going to take a cross-country trip. Now, there's a few weird things going on here. There's a lot of weird things going on here. It is November 9th, 2016, the day after Election Day. I don't even know if I will post this, but whatever. I just feel like some comfort food gaming. So, I'm going to drive across the country. This country that just elected Donald Trump. Fair enough, it happened. I'm not going to look at the map. Let's just look at the mini-map at the bottom right there. And know that we are heading west. Right off the bat, one of the weird things that's happening, I'm in a Ford Mustang, which I guess is okay. I'd rather be in my Dodge Viper, but for whatever reason, I logged into the crew today. Every single one of my cars was gone. They were stolen out of my garage. I don't know how that happened. Furthermore, a lot of my gameplay progress was reset, so there seems to be some sort of an issue with my account being rolled back or some server thing. I don't know. I filed a support ticket with Ubisoft, I posted in the Steam forum, and I even tweeted. Who knows when I'll get my cars back, or if. So you and me right now, assuming you're watching this, and I don't know why you want to, I don't even know if I'll bother posting this, but we're on this road trip. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to gab for a little while. I do like this weather. I live in Los Angeles. It never rains. I mean, it does, but not enough. Never storms. I really miss storms. So this is the crew, of course. I'm passing by a car part. If I were to go over there into the woods and look for it, I would be that much closer to unlocking a car that requires 20 collectible parts to unlock it. I don't really feel like unlocking cars. I'm not going to do this challenge. We're just driving today. This is, as I mentioned previously, this is just comfort food gaming. The crew is almost 2 years old. It came out on December 1st, 2016. In a month, it'll be 2 years old. Excuse me, let me take a sip of my espresso here. When the crew came out in 2014, I had just finished 8 weeks of radiation therapy and chemotherapy. A few months prior, I'd been diagnosed with stage 4 hypopharyngeal cancer. It's deep down in my throat. So for 2 months, I went in every weekday for radiation treatment. I had 3 super extended sessions of chemo. At first, the treatment wasn't so bad. I mean, this is kind of how this works. But the more it goes on, the more difficult it is. The more it, you know, it's basically burning you. It's poisoning you. So after 2 months of radiation therapy to my throat, my neck, bottom part of my face, I wasn't really feeling good. And the progression of that therapy isn't that you do it for 2 months. Oh, geez, a fork in the road. We'll head south because we're heading south and west, right? I am on manual transmission. hardcore driving mode, I find that the crew is most gratifying when you drive it with the hardcore driving model and with a manual transmission. Who doesn't like a manual transmission, right? Oh, of all the cars, it took all of my cars. The one that it left here is a Ford Mustang. And I have it in a street variant and a dirt variant. This is my street variant of the Ford Mustang. And suitable enough. I wanted to drive an American car across America. That's what I'm doing now. As I was saying, after 8 weeks of treatment, the situation isn't that it gets worse and worse and worse, and you feel worse, and it gets more difficult over 8 weeks, and then it's over, and you get better and better and better. And I was warned about this. Oh, look at that lighthouse. Very nice. Very Maine. Actually, I am lost. Okay, now we're headed west. Nope, east. Wait. Yes, I always get my west and east mixed up. Where have I gone? Alright, now we're headed north. If we just keep going... Oh, shoot, I am doing the wrong thing. Alright, let me spin around. I'm so dyslexic with east and west. Are you guys like that? Alright, we've just completely had a setback in our road trip. I once went on a road trip from Little Rock to Dallas. Me and my friend were going to go to Dallas and audition for the Dallas Shakespeare Festival. So we piled into my car and we got on Interstate 40 and just headed west from Arkansas. Because that's where... Oh, look, I got an achievement for scaring animals. Sorry, animals. So we got on Interstate 40, just started heading west, hanging out. He's a good friend of mine, and it's one of those road trips that the time went by quickly, because he was a good person to travel with. Eventually we realized, well, wait, Dallas is pretty far south of us. You know, we're way in the north of Texas. How are we getting to Dallas? Because I thought he was going to tell me where to turn south, and he thought I knew where I was going. So we completely missed the city of Dallas. We barely made it there in time to do the auditions. Neither of us got the part, of course. I say of course. Who knows? Who knows how the story might have ended up. But I once missed Dallas. Almost missed the entirety of Texas. Alright, I think now... No, shoot. Okay, I've got to open the stupid map. I'm completely lost. Yeah, I was going with the right idea. I really need one of you. Would one of you be the navigator? Wait, is this even right? Oh my gosh. Alright, hold on a second. I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but I am going to look at the overall map. Here. I'm not even going to set a waypoint. Yeah, so... I'm on Nova Scotia. Oh my god. Isn't this Nova Scotia? Jeez, Pete. Alright. So I've got to go here. Is this cheating? No, okay, I was going to fast travel, but we're not going to fast travel. Alright, we have to get off this peninsula. Stupid peninsula. Alright, at any rate, after 8 weeks of treatment, and I was warned about this, when you go into the treatment, you have no idea what it's going to be like. A good oncologist will talk you through it, and he'll give you a sense for what's in store. And I had a great oncologist. I had a dietitian. I had great people looking after me. The technicians were great. I had basically an eating therapist who was going to help me deal with being unable to eat. Like I would come in and do exercises for swallowing and stuff because of all the damage that was being done to my throat. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink anything for weeks at a time. So it's over after 8 weeks, and you think, okay, it's over, I should get better, but that's not how it works. It gets worse for a long time after those 8 weeks. And that's one of the things my oncologist warned me about. So, here it is, November, late November, early December, 2014. Let's see, I want to turn left here. Yeah. There's that car part. We were just here a while ago. I think we also should be sticking to larger roads, right? I shouldn't be going off on any dirt roads. Now, is this correct? Yes. I'm going to go in this direction. Look at that bear. Hi, bear. I'm not doing challenges. I'm just trying to get to Los Angeles. And as I'm dealing with that first month, it's December 2014, of things not getting better, of things getting worse, of still being unable to speak for very long, unable to eat, unable to drink anything. When my oncologist was describing the procedure, he said it was like you have a sunburn inside your throat. And that actually... Is this a helicopter up here? What is that icon? Why would I why am I being told about a helicopter? I can't tell what that icon is. So he said it's like you're a sunburn in your throat, and that doesn't seem so bad. I've had sunburns before. I've had terrible sunburns before. You get over them. They suck. They're uncomfortable. Alright, I think up here is the way we get back off of Nova Scotia, or wherever we are. Is Arcadia Nova Scotia? Because... Are they including Canada in this game? I did not know any of Canada was included. This has got to be some little offshoot of Maine, right? Arcadia? A sunburn in your throat, that can't be that bad. But I feel like that's kind of underselling it. Okay, let me check. No, what is going on? I'm so lost. Okay, I'm just going to leave this map this size and try to figure out my way off of this peninsula. Well, suffice to say, this will not be a reliable indicator of how long it takes to drive from one end of the country to the other in the crew, due to all this faffing about in the Northeast. So, while the 8 weeks of treatment were difficult, the months after the treatment were arguably more difficult because you're not seeing your doctor regularly. He even warned me about this. He was like, there's this sense that patients have after the treatment of being kicked to the curb. And that's something you kind of have to watch out for. Is this right? It's right up here, yeah. I think this is right. So the reason I'm telling you all this is not because I just want to talk about myself. But what I did a lot during those months... People talk about battling cancer. And I never felt like that was a very good metaphor, because I never felt like I was being... I wasn't doing much. I was just kind of enduring. The battling was going on with the treatment and the cancer cells that were being killed and the healthy cells that were having to go with them. And I was the battleground. I never felt like I was an active combatant, if that makes sense. So a lot of what those months were like for me, were just kind of enduring, hanging in there, letting time pass. Great way to do that. And not just because it's my hobby, but because they're designed this way. This was a video game, or two, or three, or several. Like any leisure pursuit, video games, you can sink a lot of time into them. Leisure, entertainment, whatever you want to call it. Hobbies. Alright, so up here, I'm off Arcadia, and we're well on our way across the mainland. It's a lovely morning here. Actually, what time is it? I can open my phone. How do I open my phone? My muscle memory is kind of shot here, because I haven't played the crew in a while. Is this the phone? Yes. It is 9:30 a.m. I spent a lot of December 2014 playing the crew. like any good MMO, it's a place that is just laid before you to spend time in. And unlike a lot of MMOs where you spend that time, your main vocabulary, your main verb for interacting with the world is punching things. Your main vocabulary here is this, what I'm doing right now, just driving through traffic, watching scenery go by. Look at all those bears. This place is lousy with bears. Oh my gosh, what was that? Oh, it was a player. The crew is being a massively multiplayer online game, sort of. Yeah, pretty much. There are other people in here, and that was just some guy who... I take that as an affectionate gesture. When you're driving around and there's another player and he rams into you. That's a way of saying, hey bro, what's up? It's like a fist bump, right? It's like a head nod. I was playing on the PS4. I remember spending a lot of time on the couch. Just driving around, just seeing things. And the crew is really good about giving you different kinds of challenges. It's got goofy story missions, lots of upgrade paths, tracks of upgrading things. I don't know how much time I spent playing the crew, because the stats option, like many other things in the crew, was really bugged when it came out on the PS4. So you can go and look at how many hours have I spent in the crew, and it would always say something silly like 4. That's not right. Look at those ominous-looking buses with nothing written on the side. What are they hiding? It's the equivalent of a traffic jam in the crew. All right, let me take a sip of my espresso here. By virtue, not necessarily of any inherent greatness in the game, but by virtue of my personal experience with it, the crew ended up being my favorite game of that year. It is still a great game. I do think it is hands down the best driving game you can play. Understanding that driving games and racing games are very different things. Driving games are like this. You are moving around in a world. You're letting the world slide by. You're experiencing it in ways other than go as fast as you can. Racing games are about going as fast as you can over a preset course or track. Not to say all driving games are open world. But at any rate, if you understand the difference between driving and racing, I would concede easily there are better racing games. But I do think the crew is the pinnacle of driving games. The teams who made it, too, were the folks behind Test Drive Eden, 1 and 2, also open world games, and Driver San Francisco, another very good open world driving game. That, believe it or not, had a great story. So we're heading south along the eastern border here. If I pop this up, Casco Bay on the east coast. When you toggle that, it shows you in the lower right-hand corner where you are. So driving to Los Angeles, we're just going to go in a general direction. We're pointing our Mustang in that direction, and we're just driving until we get there. Because the game has reset a lot of my progress, I don't know what this is going to do to my road to Hollywood, which is my attempt to unlock the Hollywood license plate, which is a lot of achievements. I don't want to go through that gate. Shoot, I didn't want to go through the gate. All right, well, fine. Okay, I'm not going out of my way to smash those things. Sorry, not going to do it. I don't think anything I'm going to be doing here is going to help me towards the achievements for unlocking the Hollywood license plate. My progress there was not reset, fortunately. There were basically, 10 achievements per city. All of my achievements were intact towards my Hollywood license. But the 3 big ones I still have yet to do. I think those all involve being in Los Angeles and we're not going to be there for a while. Man, this is the longest challenge. Alright, finally. We done with that? Set a record. Although, considering what's happened with the server reset, I don't know if that's worth anything. Alright, back out of there. Why isn't it giving me my keyboard command? There we go. If I'm going too fast or making you nervous with my driving, just let me know. I'll slow down. I remember being a teenager. Teenagers should never be allowed to drive, by the way. You should not get a car. You should not be allowed to drive a car until you're 21. And I say that having been a teenage... Maybe that's just boys. Having been a teenage male driver, good Lord, the stupid things I did in cars. It is amazing I am not dead from stupidity. But I remember even driving, like, I guess I was just driving normally. Like, if I would be driving with my mother in the car, she would constantly get nervous and ask me to slow down. And I never thought, I'm not going fast. I mean, you're in the car, Mom. I'm not gonna drive in a thrilling way. I'm just driving normally. And she would always be like, slow down. So, yeah, that was probably just me being a teenager and not knowing how bad of a driver I was. Let's see, where are we? What bridge is this? Salem Woods. So I guess this must be Massachusetts, right? Alright, so why am I sitting down with the crew on November 9th, 2016 to drive for no good reason? This isn't unlocking anything. In fact, normally if I'd logged in and seen all the stuff that was missing, all the progress that I'd lost, the server wasn't recognizing, I'd say screw this and I'd quit out of the game and wait until they fixed it. But I'm not going to do that now. I am doing this. It is the day after Donald Trump was elected as president. And for however long I continue to live, it will be, I think, one of the two most significant days for me in terms of me as a political creature, person, observer, follower. For a lot of folks, it was a huge shock that he won. We did not expect that. And we'll be dissecting the reasons why it happened for many months to come. Basically, at this point, it looks like it was low overall voter turnout. 7 million fewer Democrats voted in this past election than they did in the 2012 election. 2 million fewer Republicans voted. There are other factors as well. That's not really why I am here, though. Let's see, is this right? I'm still heading... Yeah, okay, this is right. I think if I just stay on this highway, it's probably going to take me to Los Angeles, right? I mean, I think we're a 2-lane freeway from here on out. I'm not setting a waypoint. A waypoint would show me my mileage to Los Angeles in the lower right-hand corner. I don't want to know that. I'm just going to take in the scenery as it goes. Whoa, whoa, serious traffic. Where is this happening? Ocean State. What is the Ocean State? I'm sure I know what the Ocean State is. Maryland? Who knows? This does not seem to be the direction. Oh, yeah, this is right. Oh, we seem to be on an even bigger freeway. Headed south. Look at that, another bear! I'm telling you, this country's lousy with bears. It's perilous. Oh, you know what? I should be looking at signs. If I'm not mistaken, the signage in this game, kind of like Far Cry 2, you can get around just looking at the signage. Now, when I'm talking about these 2 days that were hugely formative to me as a follower of politics, I mean in an eye-opening, surprising way. Excuse me a second. I mean, 9/11, for instance, everybody remembers that. And it affected everyone's political beliefs in a way, right? So I guess I should include that. But I'm thinking more of moments when I realized that I don't know nearly as much as I think I know. And these are always important moments. I feel you should have a good one of those moments at least once a year. One of those moments where you're sure of something and then you realize you were wrong. That's sort of humility. That's sort of a reminder that you're not always right. Everybody should get that from time to time. And there were 2 times in my life where, boy, did I get that. Today being one of them. I've spent the last several months telling my friends and my family, saying to people online, probably even in some of these streams, Donald Trump's not going to win. It's math. It's the Electoral College. He doesn't have a ground game. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not a serious politician. And you want to know something? I even voted for him in the primaries. Here in California, we have something called open primaries. You can vote for the candidate in the primaries for the presidential election for either party. And I honestly felt that one of the best ways to support Hillary Clinton was to make sure the Republicans put forth Donald Trump, who was unelectable. He would never win. And there's a flashback. I remember my father. I didn't really know my father that much, but there were times when I was growing up when I was around my father. And I remember before Clinton, when Clinton was running for office, I remember my father once saying with absolute certainty, the man is unelectable. That's the word he used. He turned out to be wrong. And I believe that about Donald Trump, and I turned out to be wrong. So, of course, today is the occasion for a lot of much-deserved humility on my part, maybe the parts of others. But the other time was in 2003, March 2003. This isn't highway. What happened? We have arrived at, this is one of these roundabouts that New York, what does it say? Bronx. Oh, okay, is this Columbus Circle? All right, let's get out of New York. Good Lord. No, this is heading north. Sorry, let me, what's the, there. What is the power brake? X? Nope. Shoot, what is the power brake? A? Nope, that's, why do I not know the power brake? Yeah, my muscle memory is shot with this game. It's gotta be X, right? Yeah, okay, X is the power brake. Just in case I want to do any fancy driving. So, March of 2003, Bush had been doing a lot of saber rattling about invading Iraq. Congress had signed off on it, basically giving him approval, which I just thought was more the saber rattling. I never thought we would go into Iraq. It just seemed pointless. It just seemed like we were just acting all tough with Saddam Hussein, and I mean, I didn't know then what I know now about who neoconservatives are and what they were doing and what their strategy was in the Bush administration. And it was to set up Iraq, and it's not none of this blood for oil silliness. Like, it's not nearly that simple, not that facile. The idea, which is a sound idea, but the execution was thoroughly botched, is set up a country as a friend to liberal democracy and let it spread. Create a presence in the Middle East. And then just let basically the modern day equivalent of the domino theory take over. So I believe that's what the neoconservative idea was in terms of invading Iraq. I don't think anyone in the Bush administration really believed that, first of all, they had anything to do with 9/11 in Iraq. They didn't. That was a lie that was sold. And I suspect too, like, did they really think they were going to find weapons of mass destruction? I think they might have thought they could find perhaps some old like chemical munitions or something. But I don't think anyone in the Bush administration thought there was going to be any evidence that Hussein had a nuclear program going. I don't know, maybe they did, and they thought that would be a good justification, a good way to sell it. But at any rate, I never thought we were actually going in. I just thought it was saber rattling. And on that morning in March, it was March, right? I want to say March 23rd, I could be wrong. When the invasion actually began, I was gobsmacked. I couldn't believe this was happening. Because again, I had been running around saying to my friends, to my family, to people online, we're not going into Iraq. That's silly. It would be so stupid. No reason for us to do it. We're not going to do it. And that was one of those big moments where I realized, man, I really don't know as much as I think I know. So here I am today feeling that same thing. And what I want to do here is just a little bit of gaming comfort food. Just like I felt really crappy throughout the month when this game came out, how it really kind of helped me forget where I was. Not forget, just kind of mildly anesthetized with distraction. That's the way I kind of think of video gaming. Let's see, where are we now? We are in... Oh, we're in New York. Weren't we trying to not go to New York? Okay, I think we're going to swing south of New York, which is fine, as long as we don't get off on any exit. So here I am, just as gaming comfort food. I'm going to spend however much time it takes to get to Los Angeles, just driving and just talking. And I can't imagine anyone is still here. Frankly, I can't even imagine I'm going to actually post this. Who knows? All of this live streaming stuff still feels very new to me. I don't know what I'm doing. I just hit record or stream and I play a game and I talk and I try. I am not an entertainer. I cannot do what I suspect most people on streaming gameplay, let's plays, whatever you call it. I can't do what most of them do, which I imagine is entertain and, I don't know, tell jokes, make fun of games as they play them, and I have no desire to do that. So, don't want to go through the gate, because oh, shoot, all right. Ah! I wonder, should I set a goal to not get in a wreck? No, I'm not going to do that. Because I can pretty much guarantee you at some point I'm going to get careless and wreck this car. Because there are no repercussions to wrecking. There's no damage model in this game. So I just kind of press record or stream and I just play and maybe talk about what's happening, point out things, kind of show people the game. I don't know. And I don't have a lot to show you here. I've showed you in various streams and quote-unquote let's plays. I really hate the preciousness of the term let's play, by the way. Got another achievement. So I've showed you what I want to show you of the crew, and now we're just driving. So I'm going to be your partner on a road trip in which you unfortunately get no input. You are my... Oh, see, I told you we'd wreck. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Give him the wave to show that it was my bad. You are my mute partner in a road trip across America. It would make a terrible buddy film. It would basically be a monologue. It would be my dinner with Andre, but without Andre. It would be my dinner if that was a movie, a road movie. All right, let's see. Where are we? We are now in the suburbs of Washington. And now I'm just depressed. I have tried not to spend too much time thinking about the upcoming 4 years, but it's hard not to. And the thing is, I don't think it's, well, I was going to say, I don't think it's going to affect me as much as it will other people. There are implications with healthcare can be huge for me. I have one heck of a pre-existing condition. I go in for scans every year. If I make it through 5 years, it's an important milestone, but the odds of my cancer coming back are, as my oncologist put it, not so helpfully, the odds are not uncommon. if I've ever said this, but I don't know. No one's watching at this point, right? Stage 4 hypopharyngeal cancer patients, people diagnosed with that, 75% of them are dead within 5 years. It has a high mortality rate. And it's not as hard to live with that as it first was. But it's still hard to live with that. So if things change drastically with healthcare, I know the Republicans are hell-bent on repealing Obamacare, largely because I think they resent the name attached to it. Presumably there will be something offered in its place, right? I mean, they're not just going to strip people of healthcare. At any rate, that's my main issue as a participant in the political machine. I don't make enough for the taxes issue to really be a big deal. I don't think I'm going to need an abortion anytime soon. I am not a minority. I am not homosexual. I'm not looking to marry another man. A lot of these issues are things that will affect other people in the country. People who I think need to be protected, and not protected in the sense that they're helpless, but protected in the sense that our government, our Constitution, is designed to make sure we all have equal rights. I'm not a woman. You know, I can just retreat into being a relatively privileged white male for 4 years and keep my head down and hold out. God, I hope the worst thing about being one of the 75% people diagnosed with stage 4 hypopharyngeal cancer who doesn't make it for 5 years, I really want to see it through to the end of this term to see what happens, because I just really need some sort of sense of closure. I need to know where this is going, and I don't think I'm going to find out for at least 4 years. You know, the 2020 election, that's going to be a doozy, right? All right, where am I? Washington suburbs, still. I feel like I was just there. I mean, I feel like I was there a while ago. I guess I'm on the other side of them. We aren't making much progress inland, so I want to swing west here soon. Although, frankly, I think I would rather go east to west along the underbelly of the country. I love the South. I would much rather drive to the South than those boring big old square states up north. And the Midwest. Oh, I'm so angry at the Midwest. Whoop, what's going on up here? That looks like a player, because I don't think the AI drives that way. Or does it? What is that guy doing? Maybe it is the AI, right? Alright, so we're looking to swing west through the South here at some point. This is not west, this is east. Plus, yeah, I don't have any. Okay, let's see if this is going to do it. Yeah, Pennsylvania, Ohio, I am not happy with you. Michigan, not one little bit. So therefore, I am going to deprive you of my visit. That's right. How do you feel now? Here we go. Alright, now we're headed west. Furthermore, in terms of keeping my head down and just letting 4 years pass, I live in California. It's as blue gets. And I guess New York, but specifically Los Angeles. I honestly don't know personally. Well, that's not entirely true. I was going to say I don't know anyone who voted for Trump. But those definitely aren't, those aren't the kinds of folks that, none of my friends, almost none of the people I interact with online. What's going on back there? How do I look back? Shoot, that's not it. There. Look at all the cars vanished. That's the thing with these games. Cars, pedestrians, whatnot, only exist where you're looking. Where you are. There's a bubble around me. And outside of that bubble, this whole country is barren, unpopulated, static geometry. We're bringing it alive as we drive through it. Why are those cars stuck? Okay, well, construction. I'm still headed south. What's going on here? I am in the south, Forest Hills. That is as generic a name as I've ever encountered. Forest Hills? Really? This is, let's see, are we getting into Gulf Coast territory? You will note the foliage has changed. We were seeing all these kind of New England autumn trees. Alright, okay, trees are either, am I right about this? Coniferous, deciduous, and perennial? Is that right? Coniferous, of course, are pine trees. They have cones. They're green all the time. Deciduous, those are leafy trees, right? And isn't perennial the opposite of evergreen? Is it true? I'm just going to put this out. I'm not a botanist. I shouldn't know this. So that's my excuse in case I get it wrong. Deciduous trees are perennial. Coniferous trees are evergreen. There. You should probably fact check that before you pass it along as truth. Alright, we are now in, still, Forest Hills. Good lord. Should I get off here? No. Sorry, car. I really like how that's heading west. I want to... Okay, this is terrible. Don't try this when you drive. Try to get on the freeway. Oh, shoot him up. Oh, good lord. Okay, with a manual transmission, super hard to back up. There. You have to shift down. Alright. Normally in a driving game, you just hold down the brake and you back up. Not the case here. I'm playing on... Oh, this is not right. Yeah, look, this is just gonna... Good lord. Okay, we'll just hang a left up here. Alright, here we are, Backroads of America. Maybe not a good idea. Did you see Easy Rider? Somebody's neighborhood. Hello, folks. Just passing through. I am kind of from the south and kind of not from the south. No, I thought we were going to get a little air. What was that? Did you guys see that car trapped in the geometry? Alright, nice work, Ubisoft. First you delete all the cars in my garage, and then you trap some poor sucker in the geometry of a bridge. I was born in Texas. My folks divorced when I was very young. And then my mom moved out to California to do a whole kind of find-yourself hippie thing. And she took me and my sister with her. And we were raised there, probably till I was about 10. And then we moved back to Arkansas. So I spent a lot of my time growing up in Arkansas, in the South. And sometimes I think I miss it. Sometimes I do miss it, but sometimes I realize I'm looking at it through rose-colored lenses. There were some things that weren't great about being in Arkansas. So the reason I bring that up is I have made this trip here 1.5 times in my lifetime. Wait, am I getting that right? Yeah, 1.5 times. Alright, and here's the deal. Let's see, do I want to head south? Let's just keep following this road west. Where are we? Oh, whoops, that is not what I meant to do. I just entered photo mode. No, I don't want to enter photo mode. Yes, I want to quit photo mode. That's what I meant to do. Down on the D-pad, photo mode. Still the south, Forest Hills. Good lord, how long do these... Okay, sorry. I'm going to cut across. It's kind of going against the spirit of doing an actual road trip, isn't it? Oh, great, now we're headed north. But at least northwest. Alright, so for my 1.5 trips across America, I graduated from college and then went to graduate school in Boston. So I loaded up everything I owned. Everything. Like I'd been living in a little house. Oh dear. Look out, deer. Do deer really make that weird noise like they're blowing a kazoo kind of thing? Because I've never really heard a deer. So I'm going to school in graduate school in Boston, and I load up everything I own, furniture for my little house, all of my like albums and books. Remember when you had to carry albums when you moved? Put it in a U-Haul truck, get in the U-Haul truck, and drive from Little Rock to Boston. And show up, and boy, man, amongst the look out, deers! Amongst the many stupid things I've done, I show up at a dorm with a U-Haul full of furniture and junk for a dorm room. What was I thinking? And I remember the RA, like, sort of looking at me like, really, dude? You brought all this stuff to live in a dorm room for a semester? As he helped me carry things upstairs. I think it was on the 3rd floor. I just completed some sort of challenge. Wait, what? Whatever. So that was my drive from Little Rock to Boston. Then fast forward 3 years. Whoa, there was air. What do you think of that? 2 years of grad school, about a year of faffing about, not being in grad school. Actually, taking my time with grad school. I moved back to Little Rock. Once again, load up everything I own in a U-Haul truck. Drive back to Little Rock. Okay, we're coming to a town. Mississippi Delta, not the name of the town. I'm not going to stop for landmarks, by the way, because if stupid Ubisoft is resetting my account, no point trying to make any progress. Goodbye, landmark. What was that? Clarksdale. Clarksdale? I'm not even sure I know where that is. So I moved back to Little Rock, and I'm there for a few years. And then I moved to Los Angeles. And that was whenever, I never remember what year I moved here. Whenever the riots were. Shortly after the riots. What year was that? Who knows? Right after I got here, there was an earthquake, but I was out of town, and I missed the stupid earthquake. The Northridge earthquake. I was really bummed about that. It's kind of a bonding experience for people who live here. And I didn't get to partake. So there you go, across the country 1.5 times, right? Little Rock to Boston, that's the half time. Boston to Little Rock, that's half of the full time. And then Little Rock to Los Angeles, that's the other full time. You know, I should have started this mission in Boston, then I wouldn't have been lost on that Arcadia Peninsula forever. We are in still the Mississippi Delta, headed west. You don't have to stop for gas in this game. You have an infinite gas tank. Okay, whoa, 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 that was close. An abrupt narrowing to one lane, all right. I sometimes think, and I realize this is a little bit random, but I sometimes think I'll move back to Little Rock one day, and then I will have completed 2 full crisscrosses across the United States, and ended up right back where I started, in terms of road trips. Let's see, I think each time I've driven in a U-Haul with a bunch of my stuff. Did a short video with my friend Bruce Garrick where we talked about road trips. One of the reasons I'm not really good at road trips, let's see, this is, what does that say? I can't read again. What? Nachiochi? What? Nachitochis? Nachitochis? I don't know what... Stay above 51. Sorry, not doing any challenges. I'm ignoring you, challenge. What river? This must be... Is that the Mississippi? Did we just cross the Mississippi River? What the heck is Nachitochis, Mississippi? Alright, Old Louisiana. Good. Well, oh no, I didn't get a bronze medal on this challenge. I did set a record, however. So I partly want to keep talking about Donald Trump and why I have such an issue with him. Well, nobody needs that explained, right? We all know. Those of us who don't support Trump, we know why. We don't need to spell it out anymore. I think our best hope is that... There's almost no way to say this without using disparaging comments, but our best hope is that Trump doesn't have any political conviction. I mean, he used to be a centrist Democrat, right? I mean, you're a New York businessman. That's what you do. So all of the silly stuff he said about banning Muslims and women being punished for abortions and maybe even building the wall, like all of that is he's gonna have to let go of that, right? Isn't he? I mean, he'll have a Republican Congress. He will get to put the fifth seat in the Supreme Court. Ninth, like tiebreaker, I guess. Another deer. There's so much wildlife in America. I mean, part of the reason to really dread the next 4 years is one party has kind of a lock on all three branches of government. If I was a Republican at this point, I would be super excited for implementing various programs. But the thing is, I don't think Trump is a Republican any more than he needs to be, and he needed to be to run as a Republican candidate. Maybe now he'll kind of bounce back? I don't know. What would he bounce back to? Ah, now, here we go. Southern Louisiana. Look at that. Look at those trees. That's beautiful. Although this does mean we've come awfully far south, so we need to work on bearing... Uh-oh. Oh, I thought this was the coast up here, but I think this is just supposed to be marshland. So we need to work on bearing west. So next right, we're going to take it. What does this sign say? New Orleans, right, of course. I think I've only been in New Orleans once. I drove down from Little Rock during a New Year's Eve. And I was in New Orleans, not on a Mardi Gras. That's really the time to be there if you want to experience New Orleans at its wildest, right? It was super crazy. I mean, it was New Orleans, and I was a dumb kid who could drink. I don't know how old I was, but I do know that when I grew up in Arkansas, the drinking age was 21. So we liked to go to places where the drinking age was 18. Alright, shoot. Looks like, what? Looks like I am not going the way I want to be going. Okay, what's happened? I'm scratching my back. Blah. What? Alright, should we pull over and look at the map? Hold on a second. No, there is the map. What have I done? Oh dear. Yeah, I completely went the wrong way. Alright, so up ahead here... Yeah, we'll just bear right on the freeway, in as much as that's possible. when I went to New Orleans, we stayed in Biloxi. A friend of mine was from there. So we drove down. I forget. I want to say his name. I don't want to say his name because his mother was a single woman who. Let's see. We're supposed to head right on the freeway. So hold on. I'm going to break some traffic laws here. Is this right? Is this going to get me on? Oh yeah. Okay. No, wait. What have I just done? New Orleans skyline, right? Okay, let's see here. I want to go this way. And at some point, I need to get over on the other side of the freeway. Sorry, traffic. Sorry, guys. Apologies. Don't mind me. So, a little college in Arkansas where I got my under... Now what? Oh, yeah, this is right. I just need to work my way over at some point to that other side of this raised freeway. Don't know when or if that'll be able to happen anytime soon. So when we went to stay with him in Biloxi, we would like to crash in Biloxi and then drive over to New Orleans and drink or do whatever. His mother was remarrying, and it was pretty stressful for him. He was not really happy about it because his mother was remarrying a woman, and this would have been mid-'80s, some point, late '80s. Oh, there's cops. Don't let them know that. Okay. Ah! Shoot. All right. Oh shoot.
All patrolling units locate and apprehend ASAP.
I don't want to turn this into a chase movie. All right, we're okay. Yeah, fine. There we go. Achievement: Redneck. Drive 25 miles in the American South. I've just done that. So anyway, we stayed with these two women, and oh shoot! What the heck is up with that? Was that a player? No. That was an AI truck. All right, whatever. Stupid truck. I know it wasn't a player because I don't think you can unlock those kind of cars. Right? I can't drive around in a truck like that. I do wish there was a trucking system. Like, I do wish this was a trucking game, like Euro or American Truck Simulator. Basically, I wish that it gave me some sort of financial cargo resource management based incentive to drive around. Like a strategy game kind of thing. Alright, now we can get on the right side of the freeway and continue heading. Oh, good lord, where are we? We are now in Swamp. South Swamp. Wait, what? Yes, we're going to stick on this freeway. So we stayed with these two women. We went to New Orleans, drank a lot on New Year's, and we came back. Shortly after school started, I remember this guy suddenly just wasn't in school anymore. And I think he lived in my dorm. And he disappeared, wasn't in classes, and didn't live in the dorm anymore. And we found out some months later, or weeks later, that he'd had some sort of a breakdown and had been institutionalized. That's uncomfortable. You know, hearing that. And he was always I don't want to say a weird guy, but he seemed kind of precarious. Just very uncertain. And he was, for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's because he didn't like the woman his mother was marrying, or if he just had some sort of a philosophical objection to a same-sex marriage. I have no idea what became of him. Do you guys ever think about that? People that you knew when you were a kid to whom worst case scenario things happened. Like my friend having that nervous breakdown and leaving college and me having no idea what ever became of him. I remember, here's a weird one. Is this okay? So I remember. Should I say names? You could say names on the internet, right? Is this okay? Because he had a cool name. Eric Castrolon. He was older than me. I would have been in junior high, and I think he was, which means back when I was in junior high, it was like 7th and 8th grade, and then 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. Those were high school. Eric Castrolon lived down the street from me, and when I would go down to the Walmart near my house, usually with a bunch of quarters to play Space Invaders, there's a Space Invaders machine in that little kind of, it's like an airlock in front of the Walmart where all the shopping carts live, and it's so that there are 2 separate doors so that all the air conditioning doesn't get out. But there was a Space Invaders machine there. Me and my friend Trey Ellis used to work at the, was it a Food for Less? So there was a supermarket there, and he worked in the bakery for a while. And I used to go there and make fun of him, and he would give me a free donut. And when he got off work, we would play Frisbee in the parking lot or whatever. And then we'd go throw a bunch of quarters into a Space Invaders machine. So on the way down to the Walmart, you had to cut through, the best way to go was to cut through some people's backyards and down this steep slope, this little sloped wooded area that just looked like a swath of wilderness. I'm sure it wasn't very big, but when you're a kid going through it, it was like untouched no man's land. Like the last people who were here were probably Indians, right? But it's really just some crappy stretch of undeveloped land between 2 people's houses, between a row of houses. So you cut through there, and you had to cut through people's backyards. Man, imagine that these days. Like, do kids still do that? Just like randomly cut through other people's backyards? Seems like they could get shot or something. At any rate, one of those backyards was Eric Castrolon's backyard. And Eric Castrolon... No, this wasn't Eric Castrolon, someone else. I think his name was Eric, but not Eric Castrolon. I'm now remembering who that was. I don't remember this guy's last name. Eric Castrolon, if you're out there and you hear this, you're not the guy I was thinking of. I apologize. Anyway, this guy who I'm pretty sure his name was Eric, but not Eric Castrolon, was just older, and he was just a big bully. I remember being terrified of him in school. And me and Trey Ellis once, cutting through the backyard of his house, he came barreling out of the house at us. And this is not one of my prouder moments. He tackles Trey Ellis, and I remember him holding Trey Ellis by the shirt. You know, this poor other little kid, like basically lying on the ground, being lifted by the shirt, and cocking his fist back like he was going to punch him. Hey, easy up there, you cars. And what did I do? I ran. Now, nothing happened to Trey Ellis, and the guy later laughed. He was like, oh, I was just wanting to scare you guys. So he's just a bully. He wasn't going to punch a couple of kids. He was just being a dick. But man, poor Trey Ellis, I abandoned him and I ran away. Oh, man. Now, I like to think later in my life I have redeemed myself. I have at 2 times in my life been in the wild with someone else and encountered a vicious wild beast. I don't know about vicious, but certainly a wild beast. Once a bear and once a shark. Both instances, get my bearings here. Oh yeah, we're going way too much into the panhandle here. We want to go, let's see, so yeah, we want to go, where's the arrow? Okay, at any rate, we want to go, well, just hang a right up here, right? Is that the, yeah, here we go. So once I'm snorkeling, my girlfriend Michelle, and then once we were out bicycling on Victoria Island, up around the Vancouver area, some logging roads. We come across the horizon, there's a bear, and then we're snorkeling. We see a shark, and I don't think the shark, like I remember when she would tell the story, the shark would be much bigger than I remembered it being. Could have been, I don't know, 4-foot shark, something like that. I don't know if it's that big, but still, it's a shark. You see that shape when you're in the water, and something primal kicks in. But I like to think I redeemed myself from abandoning Trey Ellis in both of those points in time, by my immediate reaction upon seeing this bear and this shark, as with Michelle both times, was to put Michelle behind me. And it's not because I thought, oh, I'm going to be gallant. I just did that unthinkingly. So at some point between being a 7th grader and abandoning Trey Ellis and being an adult, I think I became a little bit less of a knee-jerk coward. I don't know. So at any rate, this guy Eric, who is not Eric Castrillon, or another challenge we've accidentally fired up. He later, and I guess this was maybe when I was in high school and he had graduated, come to find out that he had murdered his father and been arrested for that, presumably went to prison. And this is a guy, I abandoned Trey Ellis to this guy. So the crazy thing is, I mean, this would have been 30-odd years ago. If he'd murdered his father, he could theoretically be out now. Actually, I mean, what like, depending on how the case went, like, you could get out after a few years, right? Like, if it was some weird thing, like it turned out it was self-defense, I don't know. Lord, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I have seen The Night Of on HBO, so I feel like I know a lot about murder, about criminal justice regarding murder. Okay, now we're heading north. Did not want to do this. Okay, it's about to bend west. We're still in the south. The Great Plains are not the south. The Great Plains are the Midwest. So the Eric Castrillon that I'm thinking of, he was my age, and his little sister, Lisa Castrillon, cute as a button. Little round face, Lisa Castrillon. Wait, is that right? Yeah, it's gotta be. The only claim to like an extracurricular activity I did in high school, well, you know what? I think was I in a chess club? I was in something called Key Club for a while, but then I dropped out because I confused it with Glee Club. I honestly didn't know the difference. So, you know, you get inducted into Key Club and you can be in it. It's kind of an automatic thing, but if you say, I don't want to be in Key Club, then they don't pressure you. They're like, okay, you're not in Key Club. So I honestly didn't know the difference between Key Club and Glee Club. I thought Key Club was going to be a lot of, like, getting up and singing in front of people. Let's see, other extracurricular activity. I once, and oh, good lord, I shouldn't be telling you guys this. I think it lasted like one football game. I like tried out for like male, it wasn't called male cheerleaders, it was called something like Spirit Squad. Oh man, that was embarrassing. I remember real quick realizing I don't belong here. So I was on Spirit Squad once, yeah. But the main sort of extracurricular stuff I used to do, where are we now? This is the Great Plains, right? Big Bend, still in the south. South is big. Now isn't this is nice. Nice dusk through some sort of a country terrain. It's kind of what I would guess Dakota might look like. Oh, although actually, are we getting into the southwest? Okay, this does not look like a very efficient way to travel west. Crazy switchback stuff. So my extracurricular activity stuff in high school was drama. And that's basically, you take drama class and you do scenes, and maybe, you know, you go to a drama competition once a year. Like a state thing, right? And you do your scene, and you judges, like you do it a few times, and then you go to the final round or whatever. The farthest I ever got in one of those, me and my friend Brett Aker adapted, and I have no idea where we got this idea. I mean, I guess we're a couple of dorks. We probably came up with it on our own, right? Yeah, we must have thought of this. We adapted The Hobbit, the part where the Hobbit is invisible talking to Smaug, the dragon at the end of The Hobbit. And he was Bilbo Baggins, and I was Smaug. And we just did the dialogue, and I pretended to be a dragon, and he was invisible, and I remember it ended with me, I was supposed to, like, breathe fire. And so we do the dialogue, and then Smog gets, I don't know, really mad and just goes like that. I like opened my eyes and tried to pretend I was breathing fire, and then, you know, you put your head down to show that the scene is over. We got 3rd place in state with that. At one point, I'm doing a scene in drama class with Lisa Castellan. Cute little Lisa Castellan and her little round face. She's younger than me by a couple of years, I think. And in the scene, there's a kiss. And I don't remember what we were thinking. Like, I think poor little Lisa Castellan, I knew she didn't want it. I mean, I got the sense she'd never kissed anyone. And I don't remember thinking, oh, we're gonna kiss. I remember thinking, I guess back then you would just ignore that part of a scene. I don't know. But we're doing it for the drama teacher. And he's like, okay, you guys just go ahead and kiss. Like, we're not even doing the scene. He's like telling us, just kiss. Like, the idea being to get it out of the way. And poor little Lisa Castellan, I think it was her first kiss. And I just felt awful. In graduate school, I did a lot of theater, which is one reason it took me a lot. Oh, shoot, where are we going? Let's see, west, right? This way. Here we go. This is southwest, isn't it? Let's check. Still Great Plains, south. In graduate school, I did a lot of theater, and I was doing some play. And there's a girl named Reed who was really cool. I liked Reed a lot. She was awesome. Really good actress. And I don't remember what the play was. And there's supposed to be a kissing scene. You know, maybe it was even just a class. I think it was a scene for a class. And before we did it, like, we were going to just start rehearsing it, I think. And this is around a lot of people. Before we did it, we were like you're like rehearsing in front of other people. She just came over to me and had a kiss in it, and she just planted one on my lips and was like, just so it's not awkward when we actually do it. Which I just always thought was kind of adorable. Oh, good Lord, this road is not bending the way I want to go. Let's head south and get on that interstate down there that I can see. If you've never done theater, sometimes people will like see kissing on stage, and I imagine it's probably true of love scenes in movies, and think, wow, that's cool. He or she got to make out with so-and-so. My experience, limited as it was, is that it's never like that. There's nothing, I mean, you know, you're acting, of course, but there is nothing genuinely erotic about, like, kissing someone on stage. You try to sell it that way, but So Reed coming over and planting one on my lips, I thought was just a very cool gesture on her part. Not something I would have done, but the fact that she did that, I was like, okay, very cool. Hey, we just missed a train. All right, here we go. Let's get on. Oh, I didn't see what that sign said. Probably pointing us towards Nevada or something. All right, this has confused me. Nevada or Nevada? It's Nevada, right? Like, do you say, and I'm trying to come up with a mnemonic and I keep forgetting, is Nevada odd? Or is it Nevada? I don't know. You know whose fault it is that I confused that? Donald Trump. He's the one that got up there and pronounced it in terms of trying to explain to a rally of people from there how it's pronounced. He said it wrong a couple of times, and I forget if he said Nevada or Nevada. I don't... Donald Trump, you've just confused me in so many ways. Nah. Avoid that. This has got to be southwest, right? We are now in still Big Bend to the south. All right. Oh, sorry, truck. This doesn't look like any south I've ever been in. Oh, should we stay and watch the train? Oh, shoot, we don't want to just stay on the tracks. Let's just watch the train go by. Oh, there it is, look. Sorry, ambulance. Wanting to stay and watch the train. There it is. Wow, tanks. Tanks going somewhere. Very cool. One of the last places I would ever want to go, and I know this from having been there, I'm not fond of Vegas. Mainly because I don't gamble, but it's also, oh shoot, ow, car. I have been to Vegas a few times, and it's fascinating, but not someplace I normally choose to go. I wish I could remember who said this, but someone once described it as, headgummit, I'm gonna, like, Walmart meets Disneyland for adults, something like that. We had a big, oh, here we go. Navajo Trail, the Mountain States. So this is what it looks like until we get to Southern California, right? The Navajo, in their own language, are called the Denai. I read a really good book called Blood and Thunder, which is about Kit Carson and the Navajo and the American treatment of Native Americans. The Navajo... Whoa, look at that. There's a player. Yeah, see? See what you get, dude? Be careful. At least you didn't hit me. There's a where the Navajo, not homeland, but like their main city, their capital, in as much as that existed. Yep, they're speaking of hitting me. And when I said I wasn't going to crash, I don't think I crashed. That guy crashed me. It was someplace in Arizona, whatever, like with canyons. It was super defensible, and they grew peaches there. And the name of it sounds like something French. I want to say like Seychelles or something, but it's not French. It's a Navajo word. It totally sounds like a French word. I wish I could think of it. When I was in high school and college, my father lived in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. And there were a few summers where I would... Oh, there's that guy again. Haha, you missed. There were a few summers where I would go out and stay with him. I spent some time in New Mexico, which I really liked. I like the desert a lot. He had a Ford Pinto, and he eventually gave it to me. I remember in New Mexico one summer in Albuquerque, seeing Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Loved the Mad Max movies at that age. Very formative for me. This is goofy. I used to wear a black trench coat thing, so dopey, and I would roll up, was it my right sleeve to my elbow, not my left sleeve, because that's what Max's outfit was like. Alright, there's some guy hitting us. Well, thanks for the speed assist. So is this guy going to be our driving companion? Because, yeah, Max's right arm didn't have a sleeve on it, presumably so he could reach his shotgun more readily. And amongst the many dumb things I did as a kid, I was dressing that way because that's how Max dressed. So I don't know if he's trying to knock us off the road or just really giving us a friendly speed assist. See where we are now. Still Navajo Trail. Oh look, is that him on the, you guys see an arrow on the mini-map behind me? This is like the movie Duel with Dennis Weaver, except instead of an 18-wheeler, it's a purple supercar of some sort. I just pull over and wait till he goes away. I think, is that what you do to challenge someone to a race? Uh-oh. Don't. Is he going to say something to us? Is he going to flip us off? Where are the emotes in here? That's his way of saying hello. He's just being friendly. That is not a dirt car, dude. Let's see, is he leaving or he's just gonna keep hitting us? There we go. I'm happy to let him scooch us out into the wilderness, and then I can just fast travel back to the freeway. It's like he's playing soccer. Is this what Rocket League is like? I hold down my... Okay, I'm going to hold down my emergency brake and see if it affects how easily he can knock me around. Is there an achievement for pushing another player through the American Southwest? If so, I think this guy is trying to get it. Oh, what are you going to do now, dude? I'm going to rock. Against a... Wait, where do you want to go? There. There we go. Oh, you'll note he did switch cars to some sort of a dirt spec. I think now he's left us. Alright, we can just do this. Ta-da! Now, on the mini-map, let's see. Just wonder if it would show where he is. There he is behind us. Should we try to outrace him? I mean, this is actually a super low-spec car because all of my cars got deleted by Ubisoft. So this is a very early game car. Oh, we're not driving correctly. Cockpit view. There we go. You do see on the mini-map there's a kind of a hash mark, like a bug around the edge. What's a way to describe it? It's a tiny gray arc. Oh, there he is. There's his arrow. When he's off of the mini-map, it shows him as a little gray arc, a little hash mark, kind of. Oh, there he is, passing up a cop. Definitely got more speed than we do. Yeah, this is just like Duel. I'm Dennis Weaver. He's a weirdo in an 18-wheeler. He's a driverless... Actually, the 18-wheeler in Duel is not driverless. You see the driver stick his arm at the window at one point. Now the movie The Car, the classic evil car movie, that is driverless. No one in there. James Brolin goes up, and he looks in there, and there's nobody in it. If we stay behind him, he won't see us. I do want to enjoy this last part of the ride, so I'm just going to wait for that guy to leave. And let's check and see if I've got my garage back, by the way. Alright, so let's see. This calls up my little mobile garage. There you go. There's the sum total of my vehicles. All the time I've spent playing this game, I only have 3 iterations of a Ford Mustang. Man, that is sad. I've got way more than that. I had so many cars. Ubisoft. There is DLC for this called, like, Hide and Seek, Most Wanted, Cops and Robbers, something like that. In late November that I'm looking forward to. There, you see the little hash mark? So it shows there's that guy.
A 911 call cites a vehicle driving erratically. All patrols be on alert. 10-4.
Hey, why are we wanted? I guess because we hit a post.
All units, a dangerous driver.
Why am I the most wanted?
Target is no longer in sight control. Roger. All units stay vigilant.
Oh, I think if he
Clear
catches
this
me,
call
I
control.
see.
He's lost us.
I wonder if he's trying to make me get wanted so that he could then capture me and get whatever the bounty is. Who knows? Oh, good lord. Let's see. There's still that highway down there. Burnt Destiny. That's who that is. Invite him into a crew. So that's interesting, that. He is. We're on a crew together. Awesome. There is some sort of achievement for, I think, driving for an hour or something. There are actually several achievements for doing things while you're in a crew. I suspect I'm now eligible for a bunch of them. Alright. We are in Mountain State's Black Mount. It's a lovely dawn. Man, look at that American car. Good lord. Oh, I should say not an American car. It's a, obviously it looks like maybe an Italian car with an American flag. Should I try to keep up with him? Nah, not necessarily. Well, if you're still with me, good lord, I can't imagine why. A. And then B. Thanks. Still plan to get at some point my Holywood license plate. It may not be until after the DLC comes out. And after all my cars are restored, Ubisoft. I mean, seriously, what kind of bug? It's the equivalent of logging into World of Warcraft and all your gear is gone. All of it. What kind of bug is that? And if it's got to be, it can't be happening, it can't be a widespread thing, because people would be screaming bloody murder on the Steam discussion forum, right? I went there, nobody else seemed to be complaining about that, so I've been singled out for some sort of a massive car repossession. In real traffic, you can't do what I'm about to do, which is just going through traffic by staying on the center line. Not realistic. Is that a cop? Yeah, that was a cop back there. Man, Yeah, so this is a pretty slow top speed compared to what my other cars could do. Oh, the dude left. Why? Let's see, looking at the mini-map, is that him behind me? Oh, in front of me? There's one player behind me and one in front of me. If I click this, I can see one of them is Burden Boy, and the other is Ryan Spencer 87. Don't know who either of those people are. Don't know who either is. Who either of those people is. Don't know who either of those people are. Either the modifiers. I don't know who either is. I don't know who either. I think it would be is. I don't know who either of those people is. Isn't that grammatically correct? It sounds weird. Alright, map check. We're still at Black Mount. What is Black Mount? I was kind of wanting to, like, swing through, you know, like, painted desert terrain. New Mexico, that kind of place. There's a motel up here. Do we want to pull over? Oh, yeah, something I was going to say early on about road trips. One of the reasons that a reason that you shouldn't go on a road trip, like, I'm terrible at road trips because I just want to get there. I just want to get the stupid trip over with. I hate stopping, like, in a motel. I guess because I'm too overly concerned with the destination and not enjoying the trip. I don't know, but almost every time I've taken a road trip, I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, push through, we're driving all night. You know, give me a coffee, we're not going to stop. And if I'm driving alone, I say that to myself. You know, shouldn't you take your time and enjoy a road trip? Good Lord, I'm going north, this is not right. Alright, well, we're going to hang a left, go west up here at this interchange. We are now in the Mojave Desert. So that's California. So let's see. I'm guessing up here, again, this leaf of the clover leaf here. So where do we go once we get to LA? Where should I go? You know what? I'm going to go to. Let's go to the ocean. Is it The Outsiders or Rumblefish? The movie that ends with, I want to say Mickey Rourke going to the Pacific Ocean in Los Angeles. Right? It's been so long, I don't remember which one of those it is. Are those both S.E. Hinton novels? Did I just make up that name? At any rate, we're going to hit the ocean. Is that it? Is that the ocean? Oh. I think it is. And what time is it? It is... oh, it's 2 o'clock at night. What is that glow out there? That's odd. Is that a lake or the ocean? That can't be the ocean. It's supposed to be like Lake Tahoe? Oh, what did that sign say? West Coast, South Coast. So, I guess it is the ocean. Let's see. South Coast, that's a place. Look at that lighthouse thingy. Is that a mission of some sort? I think it's a mission. Terrible place for a lighthouse. Way too back from the ocean. That lighthouse would not be doing its job very well. So are we like San Diego? Like, what does it mean by South Coast? South Coast, there. Well, let's get there and see where we are. See, the way the graphics look, it looks like there's an ocean and then some sort of a black mass, like a land mass. But I'm guessing that's just where the graphics of the ocean end. Who knows? Yep, South Coast in 2 miles. I don't know why I'm thinking the signs are going to say something different. Oh, I'm so excited, we're almost there. How long did this take? I don't know. Oh, look out. Look, a llama. What was that? An hour? Hour and a half? Huh. Alright, we're about to hit South Coast. south coast, that way. Yeah. I'm not sure what happens when the crew, the map, the world, gets to Mexico. Are there invisible walls? There's got to be, like, invisible walls or something. I can't believe I've never tried to drive off the edge of the map. I probably have and forgot. Wait, what was that? Sorry, I got it reversed. Did that say south coast? I would feel really silly if it did. Nope, nuclear power plant. So I think that's... Is it that power plant that looks like two breasts? It's between Los Angeles and San Diego? Featured in the movie... Oh, shoot. Some Leslie Nielsen movie. A Naked Gun, maybe? There's a bunch of windmills under there. So we have wind power and nuclear power. Nuclear power plant. Is that a 4 in 4 miles? Okay. So I'm not sure. I guess by South Coast it's got to be San Diego. Yeah. That's a lighthouse, right? Up there. Here we go. The ocean. All right. At 2:30 a.m. we hit. Would this be Highway 1? I don't know. Let's figure out where on the South Coast we are. I could always open a map, but I'm not going to. Let's drive until we get someplace identifiable. There's a trailer park. Los Angeles, 7 miles. Yep, that's where we're going, Los Angeles, of course. Alright, home stretch. I can think of no more appropriate time to pull into Los Angeles than early dawn. It's a lovely house. Oh shoot, sorry car, sorry. Alright, well, so much for me trying not to be a dick this whole time. Yeah, so this is kind of obviously the stretch between Los Angeles and San Diego. Driven this many times, I've even done it on a train. The problem with taking a train to San Diego is you get to San Diego, you don't have a car, you don't have any way to get around. So hopefully where you're going is near the train station. That's the nuclear power plant, right? San D'Onofrio? San D'Onofrio? Is that what it's called? Sorry, officers. Don't mind us. I am actually going to stop at the landmark just to grab it and see what this power plant is. Alright, remember I said I wasn't doing this? I lied. Oh, nuclear power plant, really? This decommissioned nuclear power plant first came in operation during the 60s, but has since closed due to safety concerns. Alright, well, generic nuclear power plant. There you go. Alright, on to Los Angeles. It is now 3:10 a.m. It's not what 3:10 a.m. looks like. It's way brighter than 3:10 a.m. Must be some weird sort of daylight savings time situation. Drive 500 miles on road in a street spec vehicle. I just got that achievement. And I better still have it when Ubisoft gives me back my damn cars. There's LA up in the distance. Should we stop at a motel now? It's been a long night. You never stop at a motel when you're this close to your destination. That's silly. Oh, shoot. That. San Bernardino, alright. No. At any moment, this should start looking like Los Angeles. Ah, shoot. Eyes on the road, Tom. Oops, sorry, car. Alright. This is looking Los Angeles-y. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Stupid photo mode. That's what I meant to do. Newport Beach, Los Angeles. Oh shoot, that's the worst wreck. Sorry everyone. Apologies. That's what I was going to try not to do, and I did. So what we were coming up on, I guess, is supposed to be Santa Monica. Westwood. Okay. Where's Santa Monica? Cypress. What? I don't know these places. Long Beach, Bellflower. There's a movie called Bellflower, which is a beautiful muscle car in it, and not much else that I remember. Don't recall liking it. I remember thinking it's basically the equivalent of reading some young filmmaker's bad poetry, but it has a beautiful muscle car. Here we are. Yeah, now this is very Long Beachy, right? LA Harbor. Sorry, I don't have to obey the laws of traffic, because this is a video game. It's an MMO. I'm not going to sit there and wait at a red light. Although, if there was some gameplay incentive for me to obey the laws of traffic, I totally would. Okay, so LA proper, where, alright. LA Harbor. Here we go. There's LAX. Actually, this might not be the best. Yeah, let's not do this. Let's stay east of LAX. These little tunnels are cool because airplanes go over them. We just went under a runway, I believe. shop. Now, so this is like south centrally, West LA. Okay, close enough. And then there's Venice up there on the left, those canals. And then north of that should be Santa Monica. Just head to the pier, park, and then get out. Except we can't. Just like in Interstate 76, never get out of the car. It's not just a rule, it's a gameplay limitation. Oh, look up here. Okay. I was making fun of Columbus Circle in New York. Look, we apparently have a roundabout. Not that I've ever been to.
We've had reports of a
Oh,
reckless
come
driver
on.
in your AO.
Not a reckless
Minimal
driver, I
time
just
delay.
tapped that
Be on
guy.
the lookout.
There's another player up here on the left, that gray arrow. Alright, where is... The pier should be up here somewhere, right? Yeah, this looks definitely like Santa Monica. I think this is the end of our trip. I can't believe you're still here. Okay, this is another way I know that my progress has been reset. I know that I've grabbed that radar up there, that radar dish. I did it with Bruce Garrick, and it's now showing as having not been claimed. Alright, Ubisoft, you better give me my cars back and restore my progress. I like this game way too much to be mad at it for destroying all of my inventory and progression. Here we are. This has been a super long road trip. I probably won't even post it. You know, maybe I went to heck, who knows. If you've been here with me this whole time, thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining me. We got 4 more years to go. See how things turn out. I hope you'll stick around with me for those. I hope things turn out well for you, for all of us. And for America, the country we just drove across.